Welcome, everybody, back to Unfiltered Soul Shifts. Today, we are sitting with a topic that touches almost everyone who has ever equated their worth to their usefulness. What happens when you stop overgiving? Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to be the pillar in everyone else's life, especially while your own is silently crumbling? So overgiving rarely looks like a bad habit on the surface. In fact, society praises it. It gets labeled as generosity, selflessness, kindness, and devotion. But underneath the surface, chronic overgiving is a survival mechanism. Unspoken contract that we have that says, I will give you everything I have if you never leave me, if you don't reject me, or if you never see me as burdensome. Then one day, your body or your spirit says, no more, I'm done. And you decide to pull back. You choose to stop overfunctioning in your friendships, your partnership, your family, your career. And instead of immediate peace, what do you feel? Guilt, panic, discomfort. Today, we're diving into that messy middle, right? The space of stopping overgiving. We're going to talk about the relational shifts that occur, the guilt of giving less, and how to master the radical art of receiving without feeling like you owe anyone a debt. So let's talk about what happens when your ships or in your relationships when you decide to change the outfit. When you've been the energetic anchor, the listener, the solver, the planner, the emotional shock absorber, and you suddenly stop and the ecosystem shifts. Think of a relational dynamic like a dance. If you've ever been doing a fast-paced waltz where you carry all the weight and suddenly you slow down to a standstill, your partner in that dance is going to stumble. They might get confused. They might even get angry. But here's an uncomfortable truth. When you stop overgiving, you reveal who was in the relationship with you and who was in the relationship with what you actually provided. So what do I mean by that? A lot of the people you surround yourself with would be able to be placed in two groups, the adjusters and the resistors. So the adjusters are the people who really love you. These are the people that see you. They might be surprised or briefly confused about your new boundaries, but they respect your humanity and they adjust. These are the people that meet you halfway. The resistors are the people that benefited from your lack of boundaries. When you stop overgiving, they may accuse you of changing, being distant, or being selfish. Not necessarily because you've hurt them, but because their access to your labor has changed. So it's crucial to remember that their discomfort is not proof that you're doing something wrong. It's simply proof that the old pattern is ending and something new is going to start, right? And this is where it gets interesting. But before it gets interesting, we've got to address guilt. How do we feel so guilty when we start giving at a healthy level? Because your nervous system has associated overgiving with safety. And that's it. For years, keeping everyone else comfortable kept you safe from conflict, from abandonment, or criticism. So when you withhold your excess energy, your brain then starts interpreting that restraint as a threat. It alarms you with guilt and it floods your system with it. But how do we reframe it? Guilt is not the signal of wrongdoing. It is the feeling of growth leaving behind an old habit. So when guilt arises because you said no, or because you didn't offer advice, or because you let someone just handle their own discomfort in their own situation, sit with it. Place a hand on your heart and say to yourself, I am allowing someone else to hold their own life so that I can fully hold mine. Giving less is not taking away. It's giving others the dignity of their own emotional responsibility. Excuse me. All right. So what if overgiving is one side of the coin and the inability to receive is the other? For a chronic overgiver, receiving care, compliments, gifts, or help feels completely unbearable. Have you ever had someone offer you a sincere compliment, right? And immediately brushed it off like, okay, thank you. Or had someone try to help you with a task and instantly felt the urge to pay them back or overthank them. I'm so thankful that you did it. Thank you so, so much. That reaction alone stems from the belief that love and care must be earned. You feel as though every gift creates a debt that you must clear immediately. So receiving without earning requires you to unlearn that idea that your existence is something you must constantly compensate for. To receive ultimately is a act of trust. It tells the other person, I trust your heart. I trust that you want to give to me simply because you care, not because you expect a return on investment. And that might be the harder lesson, right? Can someone actually help you without you immediately needing to repay them? Can someone offer something and you simply just say thank you? No explanation, no balancing scale, no returning the favor, just thank you. Because receiving ultimately requires vulnerability. Giving makes us powerful. Receiving is an act of trust. So how do we move toward genuine balance? And this is something I ask myself constantly. Because balance isn't a 50-50 split every second of the day. It's flow. It's a natural rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. And if you exhale, don't hyperventilate and collapse. So we need to be careful of the word balance because healthy relationships aren't perfectly equal every day. Sometimes one person carries more, sometimes someone gets sick, sometimes someone has a difficult week. Balance isn't I did 3 things, so you owe me 3 things. I called you, you need to call me. It isn't a tit for tat. Balance is, over time, both people matter. There's reciprocity, there's consideration, there's room for need, room for rest to restore balance. So to restore this balance, pause. Pause before you offer. Before jumping into fix a situation, organizing, giving, pause for 10 seconds and ask yourself, am I giving from abundance or am I giving to be validated? Practice micro receiving. So start small, right? Let someone hold the door. Let someone buy you coffee. Accept a compliment with a simple, unqualified thank you. Also, establish energetic ties. So keep a percentage of your emotional energy reserved purely for yourself, untouchable by anyone else's demands. So ultimately, guys, maybe love isn't measured by how much you can give away, how much of yourself you can give away. Maybe it's just measured by whether you can remain fully yourself without giving everything while giving. You don't have to become unavailable. You don't have to stop caring or even become transactional. You just simply have to stop making yourself responsible for everything. You give because you choose to, because you're allowed to. And you let relationships become reciprocal rather than rescued. Because love should have room for generosity, but it should also have room for you. So as we wrap up today, I just want you to remember your value was never tied to how much of yourself you burned to keep others warm. You're worthy of resting. You're worthy of being held. And you're worthy of receiving that same tenderness you so freely give to the world. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Until next time, beautiful souls, hold space for yourself first.